5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On a quiet morning in the New Mexico desert, humanity crossed a threshold into a new era with the first atomic explosion. This is the story of the Trinity Test. The Trinity Test site was carefully chosen, nestled deep in the Jornada del Muerto desert in southern New Mexico. But why this seemingly desolate location? There were several strategic reasons. First, this area was incredibly remote. Surrounded by mountains and vast stretches of desert, the Jornada del Muerto was far from any major population centers. This isolation minimized the risk of civilian casualties in case anything went wrong. With so much open land, it provided the perfect natural barrier to contain the test. Second, the area already had military infrastructure nearby. The Alamogordo Army Airfield, located just 60 miles away, provided essential support. This allowed for easier coordination, with the military able to quickly deploy equipment and personnel to the site without drawing public attention. Another key factor was the control over airspace. The government could establish a no-fly zone over the area, ensuring secrecy and preventing unauthorized aircraft from stumbling across the test. Security was paramount, and this isolated desert allowed the military to control access tightly. Before the world-changing Trinity Test, there was a rehearsal, a crucial step to ensure everything would go as planned. With only one chance to get it right, scientists needed to verify their procedures and test their instruments under real conditions. But this wasn't just about making a big boom. The 100-ton test allowed scientists to test their instruments and calibrate their equipment, ensuring everything was in perfect working order for the real test. Oppenheimer, initially skeptical, later agreed that this rehearsal was crucial to the success of the Trinity Test. This rehearsal took place just 800 yards from the main Trinity Ground Zero. On May 7, 1945, a massive stack of explosives, 89 tons of TNT, mixed with Composition B, was detonated on a 20-foot-high wooden platform. The fireball of the conventional explosion was visible from Alamogordo Army Airfield, 60 miles or 100 kilometers away, but there was little shock at the base camp, 10 miles or 16 kilometers away. Observers also stated that the explosion was magnificent, but it was hardly felt at 15,000 feet where they were stationed. With the rehearsal complete and lessons learned, attention turned to assembling the real star of the show, the gadget. Every component had to be carefully assembled, from the explosive lenses to the plutonium core. This was a bomb like no other, and everything had to be perfect. As the final preparations were made and the countdown began, there was no turning back. Months of preparation and a rehearsal explosion had brought them to this moment, the dawn of the nuclear age. At exactly 5:29 a.m. on July 16, 1945, the silence of the New Mexico desert was shattered by a blinding flash of light. The world's first nuclear explosion had just occurred, a force equivalent to 20,000 tons of TNT. The fireball soared into the sky, followed by a mushroom cloud that would forever symbolize the dawn of the nuclear age. The explosion's shockwave rippled through the desert, flattening everything in its path. The mushroom cloud rose over 40,000 feet into the sky, visible for miles around. This was the moment the scientists had worked toward for years, proof that their theories and calculations had materialized into something very real and very powerful. For those who witnessed the blast, the moment was both triumphant and sobering. J. Robert Oppenheimer later recalled a line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In that instant, the potential of nuclear power and its terrifying consequences became all too clear. As the dust settled, the once barren desert was now scarred with the marks of a new era. The steel tower had been vaporized, leaving only twisted metal and a crater where the gadget had once stood. A new discovery was also found. The explosion had fused the desert sand into a glass-like substance known as Trinitite, a permanent reminder of the test's destructive power. The Trinity Test was just the beginning. Next time, we'll dive into the Soviet Union's response, the RDS-1. The nuclear arms race had officially begun, and no nation wanted to be left behind. Join me as we continue exploring the first atomic bombs, moving country by country in the order they entered the nuclear club. After this, we will choose tests in order of popularity and then by date. From the Cold War to the present day, it's a story of power, fear, and the very real threat of annihilation.